At this moment, I already turned on this virtual machine and established the VPN connection. So next step is open the SSH connection to remote access to this EC2 instance. If the port 22 is open, so we should be able to remote access to this VPN instance. So first thing, we need to check the IP address, which is not the public. I'm going to get the private IP address of this VPN instance. Go to the EC2 page and open the VPN instance. And then this is the public IP address. So I'm going to grab the private IP address here, 10.0.10.25, right? So let's go to the virtual machine. So this is the local virtual machine. I already established the VPN connection. So I open the PowerShell command and then try to remote access to the VPN instance via SSH. Then put the private IP address and hit enter. Alright, so we successfully log in to this VPN instance. Okay, so now we are going to grab the command line to install NAT instance from Amazon AWS page. Okay, here. So when we scroll down a bit, now we can see all the command line to install the NAT instance. So we are using Amazon Linux 2. Copy this one. And then go back to the command line. Simply paste it. And hit enter. Type Y. Just make sure we keep going the installation. So that's it. You can see the complete messages here. Alright, so next step is we are going to check the internet connection from private EC2 instance, which is this machine. So I remote login from virtual machine to this EC2 instance. Right, and then click connect. As you can see, this machine does not have public IP address, but if we successfully install that instance, this machine should be able to access to the internet. So let's open the browser. Right, I'm trying to open the Google page. Alright, so this machine does not have the internet connection yet, so something wrong in the VPN instances. So let's fix that. Alright, so first things I'm going to check the status of IP table service. To do this, alright, so type the systemctl status IP table and hit enter. Right, so you can see this service is inactive at this moment. So let's start up this IP table service. And then we are going to check the status. Right, so IP table service is now active. So let's go back to the instance. Right, so for some reason disconnected. Okay, so let's remote access to the private EC2 instance again. Right, something wrong. So let's reconnect the VPN connection. Right, so I actually noticed this is some error message happening, and then also we disconnected from the VPN server for some reason. So let's restart the services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the VPN server. After a few minutes, let's establish the VPN connection again. Okay, so we established the connection. So let's remote access to the private EC2 instance. Right, so I keep this one on the left-hand side, and then I work on the VPN instance here. Okay, so let's remote log into the VPN instance. Okay, so I'm going to check the status of IP table. Right, so now it's inactive because after the restart, it's always inactive. We have to enable it if we need to start up after the restart. Anyway, this internet connection is still not available. So let me just grab this command one more time and then run again. All right. So I wonder if situation is changed a bit. Right. So as you can see, now the internet connection is available. I have no idea. Sometimes it happens. The first run does not work, but second time it works. Really no idea. But make sure every time we restart the VPN server, internet connection is available. That's my goal. So the first thing, we need to make some changes on the VPN instance. All right, so I'm going to change some configuration file. So let's do that. So I open the sysctl conf file. So what I'm going to do is to add one line. All right, so I just add only one line, which is net.ipv4.ip underscore forward equal 1, right? And then close this page. So as you can see, the first line of this command line, we actually apply the same setting to the configuration file. So make sure every time we restart the server, this change is applied. So that's the main reason I change the configuration file. Alright, so let's check the status of IP table service. So at this moment, inactive. I just want to enable every time we restart the service. So let's do that. So the command is systemctl enable IP tables, right? When we hit enter. So this means next time we restart the server, IP table service will be up and running. So, and the next step is just start the IP table service. Then we are going to check the status. Right, so now IP table service is up and running. So before we restart the VPN server, let's check the internet connection is still working. Okay, so internet connection is still working. Alright, so now we are going to restart the VPN server. Make sure after the restart, the NAT service is available and all the private EC2 instance have the internet connection. So that's my goal. So let's do that. Okay, so after a few minutes, the VPN instance is up and running. Let's connect the VPN connection first. Okay, so now we are going to connect the private EC2 instance. So let's reopen the browser. Alright, so as you can see, this private EC2 instance still get the internet connection after we restart the VPN server. So we successfully set up the VPN server here. Let's remote log into this VPN server to check the status just in case. Alright, so first we are going to check the status of the IP table service. Right? So now IP table service is up and running after restart. So that's all good. So basically, when you start up the VPN server, it's automatically that service is available to any of the private EC2 instance if the root table is properly set. If you have any reason to stop the internet service for the private EC2 instance, you just need to stop the IP table service like here. Right, let's go to the private EC2 instance to check the internet connection. Okay, so now the private EC2 instance does not have an internet connection because the IT table service is stopped running. So let's start up the IP table service again just for the test. Right, so as you can see, this private EC2 instance has an internet connection again. So basically, we can control the internet connection by stop and start the IP table service like this. Alright, so now we have full control of NAT service from VPN instance. Alright, so now we successfully install NAT service into this VPN instance. Now we can delete the NAT instance previously we set it up. Alright, okay, so select the NAT instance and then we are going to delete. Right. Now status is shutting down. This one will be deleted. And eventually I have only 3 EC2 instances. So one is a VPN instance. We set it up with the NAT service. The other one is a test web server and then Active Directory service. And we can remote access through the VPN connection from the virtual machine. That is minimum, but pretty good test environment. Now we can install other service, something like a database, load balancer, it's many things. So this is small, but it's pretty good environment to start the testing.